Welcome to NBA Top Shot Weekly. I am Alex Kennedy. He is Oliver Maroney. Oliver, how you doing?
Doing good, man. Doing good.
I appreciate you doing this as always. And we have two special guests today. We have Grant Flannery joining us. He has some big Top Shot related news to announce, a big auction that's coming up. And then he actually gave us another big scoop toward the end of the interview. We pre-recorded the interview with Grant, so we're about to play that here in a second. And then after the Grant interview, we also have Jesse Schwartz coming on. You might know him on Twitter as @Yodo. He bought a LeBron James moment that was $208,000. He's one of the top collectors of NBA Top Shot. So we're going to talk to him about his collection and what he's looking for, thoughts on the market, things like that. So let's start with the Grant interview. We're going to play that right now. And then as soon as this is over, we'll have Jesse come on. And as always, we have a pack to give away. So if you haven't already entered, go to basketballnews.com/topshot, and then we'll announce that winner at the end here. But let's go ahead and get to the interview. Grant, thanks for joining us. How are you?
Very well, mate. How are you?
Doing great. We're excited to bring you on. You have a big announcement, a LeBron James announcement or LeBron-related announcement. Can you kind of share what this upcoming auction is? And for people that may not have heard about it, some of the details?
Yeah, definitely. So we're very excited to offer 3 rare legendary moments from LeBron James, from the House of Kiba, who I've been working and partnering with most recently. But we're actually going to play a little video to get the guys interested. But we do have 3 different individual moments. The first one is a cosmic moment. The second one is from the top. And the third one is a NBA Finals moment. So we'll take you through those.
Yeah, so let's play the video. I feel like we're on the Tonight Show. You're the first guest to bring a video, so we appreciate that. Let's go ahead and play that. Then we'll talk about some of the cereals and things like that.
Yeah, perfect.
So, Grant, how did you decide to, first of all, come up with this auction idea? How did it come together? And then why did you decide to bundle these 3 moments together?
Yeah, so I think Kiba and I met probably nearly 2 months ago, actually through Twitter on Top Shot, and we were kind of just chatting about things that we could do and the business that he was kind of starting and how I could potentially help. And we were thinking about how we could actually raise funds for the business and make sure that we were kind of self-funding and professing that way. So what we did was we thought, well, Kiba's got a fairly nice Top Shot account. What could we actually do to bundle together and go to auction and raise some funds in the kind of initial phase of what our business was going to be? So we decided there's no better player in the world, definitely right now, than LeBron James, and no better story that we had in regards to behind the 3 different cereals that have been created and chosen and traded for by Kiba throughout the way.
Interesting. So do you on these 3 moments, do you believe that this will be the first $1 million plus Top Shot sale?
I mean, look, we're hoping. I think bundling the 3 together was purposeful. We don't want to separate these 3. We feel like they're definitely part of a family. And as I said, kind of Kiba really traded and did a lot of work to make sure that you got the right cereals for those moments. They all do have a very deep connection to Kobe Bryant and LeBron James and that friendship and partnership that those 2 guys created. But we feel, with the help of our partner, Heritage Auctions, that we can definitely reach the kind of $1 million reserve. And we definitely want to push past that if possibly. So we're excited. We're hoping that we can go over it, especially seeing some of the most recent sales and the focus and hype around Top Shot. So it feels like it's the right time to, not only help House of Kiba as a brand, but help Top Shot kind of get a lot more limelight than it currently does as well.
And to follow up on that, do you think that there's going to be more? We're going to see more of the, like, this could potentially be the first, but we're going to see more of these $1 million plus sales on Top Shot, very similar to what we see in trading cards, you think, correct?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think so. I think this will hopefully be the first one, but I don't think that it's going to go down in any stretch of the imagination, especially when the market opens up. And even when you think about, trading cards at the moment, obviously the LeBron card just sold for $5.2 million the other day. This does a lot more than that. There's additional utility that they can add to it. There's additional things that you can get from it. Obviously it's moving and, it doesn't have corners or edges or anything like that. I'm not bashing the traditional cards by any stretch. I love them, but these have that kind of added flair to it, which is quite interesting. And when you think about if they drop a Kobe card or a Michael Jordan card, I mean, $1 million will feel like nothing, I think, when that limit kind of gets reached.
Yeah, I mentioned to you before we started recording here that our audience tends to be either diehard Top Shot fans or NBA fans that are kind of curious and want to know some more. So I think the first thing I have to ask, one of the big things I have to ask is people are going to hear $1 million for a Top Shot moment and think that's crazy. Right now people hear 200,000, some of the numbers they're throwing out there and react and are like, wait, what? They don't really get it yet. What would you say to someone who's questioning why this bundle is worth $1 million and, the value of some of these Top Shot moments that we've seen recently?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think it's a great question. I think that we've only just started beginning. Obviously, we're in beta at the moment as far as Top Shot and what that offers. I think the interesting part for me and where we priced it is what it can be in the future. So if you buy this bundle, what does that give you access to in the future? And I know that obviously the team at Top Shot have mentioned things like in stadium or access to people behind the scenes, or imagine if this gives you access to LeBron James' very last game and courtside seats. Yeah, there are different things that can be added. So I think when you're talking about $1 million, obviously the value is in the eye of the beholder. But when you look at things like cards or other collectibles that people are kind of getting for all of their different collections, $1 million, yes, it's a lot of money. Let's not argue about that. And not all of us have that. But for the people that do have it, it feels like a valuable investment that we'll appreciate over time. And having the collection of all three just feels like a natural way to kind of, show how passionate you are about not only Top Shot, but LeBron James and kind of what he's done for the NBA over 17, 18, who knows how many years he'll go on for now. But I think it's definitely valuable, that's for sure.
Yeah, you talk about the value, and I think about the serial numbers that you guys possess, first of all, with these moments. And then second of all, how rare these actually are. There really is only, 49 of one, 75 of one. Am I correct on that? And then the finals one, I think, I can't remember the exact numbering on those, but we're talking about very, very small numbers in the scheme of what Top Shot is, and they're probably his most sought after moments if we're being completely transparent there as well.
Yeah, 100% correct. I mean, the Cosmic is only 1 of 49.
Yeah.
So, that's kind of hot heat as well. And I don't think it's been even listed on the marketplace in the last couple of months. That's definitely something that we're really interested as far as that was the first legendary moment for LeBron James. So it adds extra value. And it's just an absolutely amazing moment at the same time. And then you've got from the top dunk, which is obviously the Kobe tribute, which, everybody's seen the two variations of showing Kobe and LeBron doing the exact same dunk and what that means to them. And we've got a really nice story around what the number we chose for that. And then we've got the finals, where obviously LeBron promised not only Kobe, but the entire Laker nation that he would bring a championship back to LA and delivered that, unfortunately, after Kobe passed. But, it's definitely something that's really there for people to understand. So, but we can talk about the serials if you guys want to go into that.
Yeah, how did you choose those? Because I'm curious. I mean, we know serial numbers are so big in Top Shot. People are paying so much more for certain numbers. How did you guys decide which ones to go after?
Yeah, so I think we really tied it back to the Kobe story. We're big Kobe fans, as you can probably tell. We've mentioned it a few times already. But the Cosmic that we have up for offer is number 41. And the reason for that was when that dunk actually happened, Kobe Bryant was 41 years old. And it comes on the story of his daughter, obviously, bless her soul, Yana, was talking to him about basketball and when they were going to go back and watch the NBA. And it was, well detailed that Kobe wasn't going to watch as much NBA and go to games and those types of things. And after the dunk happened, that you see in the Cosmic series, that Kobe actually attended the very next game with his daughter, and there's that really precious moment of kind of, both LeBron and Kobe having a handshake and his daughter, and it feels like there was a bit of inspiration of him seeing that dunk the night before to say, well, maybe I should get back into the NBA, maybe I should be at Lakers games. So we wanted to choose that one because it related to the age of Kobe when he turned up at the game, but also the age of Kobe when that dunk actually happened.
When you talk about this serial number that you focused on there, was that something, I mean, this happened a while ago, obviously, when you guys purchased these moments or went after them.
Yeah.
How did that take place? Or like, what was your train of thought? Because was there any other serials at that time available? And going into it, was 41 the goal? Like that was the one that you guys wanted initially, and that's the one you got? Or, potentially were there other serials that were in the market and you were kind of debating which one to choose?
Yeah, I mean, look, the number one serial is always the most coveted, I guess.
Of course.
Number 23, fine after that. But I think what we were trying to do and having a couple of the other moments as well was really create that story. And the 41 was something that we definitely sought after and made a few different trades to actually get that one before the marketplace was kind of readily available and those types of things, back with some conversations offline. But that was definitely something we wanted to go after. And then the other two really were similar things. So if we want to talk about whether it be we may as well talk about the NBA Finals and save the Kobe tribute to last. But the number 42 was really important to us as well because Kobe would have been 42 when the championship was delivered. Obviously, he had passed away, unfortunately, but there was a really nice link there as far as the promise from LeBron to Kobe and then him being 42 at the same time. So that was the reason behind choosing that serial and the significance of it.
And what about the last one?
Yeah, so the last one, which is the From the Top Kobe tribute, we went for number 26. Unfortunately, it's a bit of a sad story because Kobe died on the 26th. So that number will always kind of be tied to, unfortunately, the day that we lost him. But that was, one of the reasons that we wanted to pay homage to him. And it's not a sadness at all. It's more of a celebration of that number being on that day and the remembrance of the fact that that tragic moment happened on the 26th and that dunk happened to be attributed to him. So that was more of the reason for the number 26. So the 26 was, unfortunately, the day of. The 41 was the age of Kobe when he attended the game, and then 42 is the age he would have been for the NBA championship, which he unfortunately didn't get to see.
This is a question for both you guys, Grant and Oliver. I really haven't seen something like this before where we see moments kind of bundled together to tell a story, and the serial numbers tell a story, and the specific plays that are in the moments, are all kind of telling us a specific story. We tend to just see moments being sold individually, and it's usually, the number is based on either, like you said, the number one or the guy's jersey number or, their whatever hometown area code. Like we see different things like that. But do you think we're going to see more of this in the future where, we have these bundles and they kind of tell a story? Because I think it's pretty interesting. We haven't really seen anything like this. And that's for both of you guys.
Yeah, I mean, Oliver, you can go first if you want. I'm happy to.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen it with Dingaling, obviously. Dingaling is the household name for collecting number one serials. And I think he just recently traded Harrison Barnes or sold Harrison Barnes to number one, which is like, man, props to Dingaling for giving up one of his prized possessions there. But no, I think as you begin to see more collectors enter the space, and I think, Mike and a couple of other guys that are on the Club Top Shot kind of mention like rent seekers, as we see the other side of it, the collectors of Top Shot and the people who really value basketball, value kind of the historical aspects of it. You're going to end up seeing more people interested in the serial numbers. I myself have been trying to collect every because I covered high school basketball in Oregon for a long time. And so, guys like Terrence Ross, Terrence Jones, Peyton Pritchard, Kevin Love, a bunch of guys came up when I was covering them. And so my whole task with Top Shot right now is collecting the digit 503 because 503 is the Portland area code. And so anyone from Oregon, that plays in the NBA that I got to cover, I'd love to have the 503 number. I thought that was important to me. But Alex, we've talked about this a bunch. Everybody has their own collecting style, and I think what Top Shot does is it allows you to have whatever collecting style you would you would appreciate or like. Like myself, I don't know if there's many people who are going to be collecting 503s of Oregon grown players, but I think it's cool and it's fun for me. And if I can tell the story and I can illustrate it, and there's some reasoning behind it, I think it's important. And I personally think that's how collectors are going to start looking at this more and more as we get into this, and deeper as we get into Series 3, Series 4, Series 5, however many series there ends up being. There's going to be a greater appreciation for your showcases, for these specific serial numbers leading to either the age of someone or their draft year or whatever the case may be. So that's my take on it.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm with you. I think there's a story behind everything. And yes, you will still collect moments just because it's something you wanted and that was the serial number that you could get at the time. But I do hope that a lot more people kind of look to tell a story behind what they're auctioning as opposed to just worrying about what the end kind of goal is as far as money. But, we felt it was really something that was close to our hearts, and we wanted to make sure that we kept all three together at the same time. We didn't want them to go to separate collectors because that kind of would have broken up the story as such. And I think you're right, Oliver. I think Dingerling got number 2 back in exchange for the number 1 of Harrison Barnes. So I think he's still doing okay. But his story is obviously fantastic. And if he's listening, it'd be great if he wants to bid on this. But we definitely think that this is something that can help move collectors forward and as you say, kind of push them to more of the forefront about the true collectors and why they collect things and the stories behind things. And it's always great when you hear, even in the old cards, oh, my grandfather had this and bought it in 1913 or whatever it is. It adds to the allure of something, which is quite nice as well. So
yeah, I could see it becoming more mainstream now to, like I said, bundle and kind of tell that story. I think that's really cool. Oliver,
I told you, a few weeks ago, I bought that Trae Young Kobe tribute, which isn't the same as the LeBron one at all. But for me and guys like Plunge Father out there, we gotta go for the bargains at Top Shot. We can't be going for these $100,000 moments yet.
You're not going to bid on the $1 million bundle, Oliver. You don't have that kind of cash.
I wish. I truly, that would be amazing. No, but I went for the 408. There was no 8, there was no 24, there was no other serials really available that kind of replicated the Kobe tribute. And so I thought 408 because Trae is, anyways, Kobe wore number 8. Trae made the shot for Kobe anyways. So number 8. Anyways, but you can I think that is what is so cool, like I said, about Top Shot over and a lot of other things. Like, I don't think we've ever seen this with cards. Cards number 1 has always been there. Jersey number has always been more valuable by maybe 5-10%. There's really no story behind it. I think what happens when you add a moment into it, like the Kobe tribute, is when you have when you have that moment to kind of showcase what historical thing had happened. That Kobe did that dunk years prior and LeBron then replicated it because you could see it and witness it. And I think what is also very, very unique about this bundle that you're talking about here is that not only do you have 3, but these, I can't really stress how rare these are. Like, these don't even show up on the marketplace, let alone are they sold in a bundle with the kind of historical impact of the serial numbers attached to them. So I think it's really important for people, I think, to look at this as kind of like the golden standard to like selling moments because, or trading them or whatever the case may be, because I think this will lead, as you said, to more collectors getting into the space, more people valuing different serial numbers, more people seeing value in the actual moment themselves. And that's been something that has been really intriguing for me to watch from a marketplace perspective over the past few months. It obviously took a huge skyrocket in late February, and obviously we've kind of teetered off from there. But I think what's interesting is I hear so many people saying, oh, it's to 15,000 or oh, it's to 7,500 or oh, it's to this. And I'm like, this isn't a card. Yeah. This is a moment. Like, what kind of moment is it? Did you just shoot a 3? Okay, well, I'm not interested in that moment. I don't care if it's a $500,000 moment or a $1 moment. I'm not interested in that moment. Trae Young's moment is intriguing to me. Michael Porter Jr., his first playoff moment is intriguing to me.
Yeah.
Luka's first step back 3 game winner against the Clippers, that's his first big playoff moment. That's intriguing to me.
Yeah.
LeBron, Kobe tribute. So to me, we are going to start, I think, and I hope that this helps it, just moves it and expedites that process quicker. We are going to start to see, I think, more value placed on the actual moments themselves and how particular we can get with these serial numbers. So like I said, I'm looking forward to seeing what this ends up going for, because I do think that this really will set the standard for Top Shot as a whole and will really, really drive another collector base into the platform. So
yeah, fingers crossed. I think you're 100% right. And obviously having moving image helps with remembering moments as well, as far as a still image on a card. Yes, you probably know what the play was, but being able to see it side by side or 20 years apart, as we're seeing with the Kobe tribute dunk, that's what makes it really special. And I think even some other things with the numbers that we chose, like the 26, 2 plus 6 is 8, which is Kobe's number. Number 2 is Jana's number. We've got number 42, which is 24 backwards. Like we did a whole bunch of things that we won't bore you with today, but there is a lot of significance that we will have in
serials. The serials, I love it. I love it.
We're serious about serials, that's for sure.
I like it. So Grant, you're working with House of Kiba on this. We mentioned that. I know that they're a digital studio that creates exclusive NFTs. Can you kind of tell us more about what you guys are doing? And then I believe you said you had an announcement to make related to House of Kiba as well.
Yeah. So I mean, you described it pretty well, I think. We're a digital studio. We specialize in the kind of creation of exclusive NFTs, and we're really focusing on kind of extended reality. So whether that's augmented reality, virtual reality, or mixed reality. And what we want to do is enable kind of those holders the opportunity to express their own individual styles within the blockchain, but also provide them an array of utilities to use throughout the entire metaverses. So it's a really interesting space for us, as far as what we want to offer is this limitless range of unique add-ons, and we want to give people utility in everything that we create. So it's not just a 2D card or an NFT that you get and you can't do anything with it afterwards. We want to make sure that we're continually building. And what we're announcing in a couple of ways, not only just the auction, but on the 5th, we're going live, 5th of May, that is, we're going live with houseofkiba.com. And we will have our website up so everybody can find out the information about who we are and what we do. But then on the 22nd of May, just after the auction finishes on the 20th, we're actually going to be releasing our own NFTs. And those NFTs serve as membership cards. And the way that it works is that you get exclusive access to any NFTs that we drop in the future, and we'll airdrop them to you. So you pay one set fee, and we're releasing 10,000 in total, and it will be 0.2 ETH or ETH, depending on how you pronounce it and where you're from. But it's around about $500 US if you want to equate it to something. But you purchase it once, and then after that, you essentially get access to all of the different drops that we do from House of Kiba from then onwards. But the fun part for us is we have a target in mind. We obviously want to hit the 10,000. If we do hit the 10,000, Kiba has generously offered to give one of our members a little bit of an extra benefit, and they will have the opportunity to be the beneficiary of a $750,000 Top Shot account. So Kiba will actually give one of our members who buys our NFTs for 500 US. So you could put 500 US in and end up having a $750,000 Top Shot account. And this is separate to obviously the auction. But that's obviously where we want to do. That's how we're building the business. And that's how we're going to fund everything that we bring back to the community in the NFT world. So that's a couple of different exclusives for you today in the auction, and then also giving away the account or giving benefits to someone that signs up with House of Kiba.
Wow. Way to make our pack giveaway look very just insignificant now.
Yeah.
$750,000 account that you can win. That is incredible. Yeah. Thank you first of all, thank you for announcing that here. But hopefully one of our viewers is able to win it, because that would be incredible.
Fingers crossed. I mean,
if you win, hey, here's a promise. If one of our viewers wins that account, we're bringing you on the show to talk about it, because that's incredible. That's amazing. Fantastic. I love that you guys are doing this.
Yeah. I mean, look, it's something that we want to give back, obviously. At the same time, we want to make sure that people benefit from investing in the House of Kiba and all of the membership elements that you get from that. and the extra additionals that we will build throughout the way. So, the first 10,000 are very much early investors or early adopters, however we want to call them. But that nice little additional carrot is something to think about putting your money on the table for, that's for sure. So not only do you get everything that we offer, but there's a little bit of extra fun at the end of it.
For sure. Oliver, anything else you want to jump in with, or we want to wrap up and play that video one more time?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think the Kiva idea, House of Kiva idea is very interesting, and I think I should probably put my name in the hat for one of those.
I think you should. I think it's definitely well worth putting your name in the hat for. But
absolutely.
One thing I did want to do, just shout out the team, obviously, that's done a lot of the work. So, Trace Walker's done the video for you guys today. Also, obviously, Kiva, whose real name is Jason, but Kiva being behind the House of Kiva. Chuck Mance has written all of the lovely story for all of us. And then also TC Lau's been the one making sure that we're all organized and things actually happen. So just wanted to shout out that team. But also thanks to you guys for having us on and letting us talk about this special auction.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, we appreciate it.
Cool. It's very cool. I mean, I think what's intriguing to me too is so you actually said that this Top Shot auction, the money is going directly into funding House of Kiva. Is that correct? I just wanted to make sure that is okay.
Yeah, 100%.
So essentially, yeah, that I think is really intriguing to me as well. So not only are you funding this potential venture, but you're also getting these 3 LeBron moments, which I find intriguing and kind of adds to the story as well.
Yeah, no, definitely. Thanks for calling that out.
Absolutely.
Well, we appreciate you doing this. Thank you so much for your time. And then we're going to play the video one more time. So if anyone missed it or you want to make sure you have the dates right and everything like that, you have that. So let's go ahead and pull that up here. And yeah, Grant, thanks for your time, man. We appreciate it.
Thanks so much, guys. Chat soon.
And we're back. Uh-oh, are you muted? You're muted.
All right, there we go. I am back.
There we go.
Thank you to Grant and House of Kiva. We appreciate that, them jumping on here to make that announcement. That auction is going to be so exciting, those different LeBron moments. And then how about that? The announcement that they're going to give away a $750,000 Top Shot account, which is pretty awesome. So shout out to Grant. We appreciate that. Shout out to House of Kiva. And as promised, we have our second guest here. We're about to add him in. He is Jesse at Yodo. How's it going? What's up, Jesse?
What's going on? Thanks for having me. How you guys doing?
Good. Appreciate you doing this. I saw you eyeing those LeBron moments. Now, you obviously you've spent a lot of money on LeBron moments. You bought the $208,000 one. They're expecting this to be the first $1 million purchase with Top Shot because it's 3 LeBron moments bundled together. First of all, what are your thoughts on that auction? Because I know you like a good LeBron moment. Are you tempted?
I'm putting all the pieces together because I tuned in like probably 4 minutes late, and I was kind of trying to figure out what he was talking about. I've spoken to Kiba before. I guess that's his partner. Or
yep.
So I was gonna put it all together, and I've been talking to Heritage about doing some auction stuff too, and they mentioned that something big was going to be announced. So I was like, no, I just put it all together. But that's super interesting. The 3 LeBron moments together, and yeah, it's cool. I think I'll definitely take a look at it, but.
Yeah, they're basically bundling them because they all have some kind of relation to Kobe. So they want to package them and sell them as one bundle. But yeah, anyone's interested, definitely check out that auction. But I have to ask you, buying that LeBron moment, spending over $200,000 on it, what went into that decision for you? And can you walk us through just that purchase and how that all kind of came together?
Yeah, this was like right in the heat of everything a couple months ago when so I had been on Top Shot since August. So kind of a lot of buying, selling, trading up till that point. And I think it was just kind of the culmination of everything, like having sold a lot a few days before that, and then seeing kind of the prices go up and up and up, and sort of feeling like I didn't want to be taken. I wanted to kind of double down, and I was eyeing that for a little bit. And at the same time, a couple friends were like, yeah, I'd take a piece of it. And I was like, all right, I just did it. It was a very quick decision the day of, like, didn't have it all planned out or anything. But yeah, I think it was just the culmination of buying and selling, and always kind of, to me, that cosmic LeBron is like the moment on Top Shot. And just kind of realizing, collecting a lot of smaller stuff along the way. And obviously the stuff that's more liquid is obviously like, serves one purpose, but I think long-term, that's the moment that you want to hold. And I think those pieces are the ones that are going to age the best. Just, the one of 49, now we're at, 35,000, soon to be maybe 100,000 in additions. And if you look kind of 5 years down the road, one of 49 is going to be, extremely small. And the other people who hold them, that's another thing too. You get the real collectors, the people who've been there since the beginning, who aren't going to be, just flipping them or trying to make a quick buck. So it creates even more scarcity where, like, as you see, there's not even one on the market. It's almost mythical at this point, which I think is really cool.
Is there a moment that you haven't purchased yet, but you're eyeing or looking at? Like, what kind of moments do you look at, and what do you take into account when you're looking for these moments?
Yeah, I'm definitely less active right now, just because I was like so active for so long. Mm-hmm. And it was the LeBron Cosmic for sure from the beginning. And I always kind of regretted, because I was around Top Shot since probably the first 500 users or something. And I had many chances to grab one at a lot lower prices, and always kind of went for something that I felt was like more of a deal or more undervalued relative. So I remember buying I think my first marketplace purchase was a Donovan Mitchell Holo for $180, which obviously looking back is insane. Yeah. But at that point, I think a LeBron Cosmic was probably only a couple thousand. And I was probably thinking like, like Donovan Mitchell 180, that's a great deal. But in hindsight, I wish I obviously grabbed a few and just kind of bought the premium thing at that time, because the premium stuff continues to stay the premium stuff. But I liked the Steph Curry Holo, picked up one of those in January at the first kind of rush, I think, because he doesn't have a Cosmic. And to me, I find Steph still really undervalued on the platform, and just in the NBA in general. He's just transcended the game. I like now the last kind of a few weeks ago, I bought a couple of the Andrew Bogut Run It Back, just kind of saying, I think it's really cool because it's a Bogut assist, but it's a Steph Curry 3. It's like Steph taking the shot in that moment. So I think those little kind of Easter eggs are really cool, and something that people will talk about more and more, like hidden things like that. Like obviously Steph, one of the greats, and he's just in that random Andrew Bogut moment, which will probably be Andrew Bogut's only moment on the platform ever. So
we've talked about that too. Like if you have LaMelo assisting on a dunk, is that going to help it later on down the road if LaMelo blows up? Like, yeah, so that's interesting. But I have to ask you, I'm curious, because you were so early into Top Shot. I actually remember whenever they first sent out like the email to like if you want to join their beta list and everything like that. I did not start collecting Top Shot until way later. But initially, I was like, my boss actually told me, hey, you should consider this for an article. So I signed up for the beta. I was getting all these emails, and they're like, hey, these packs are still out there. No one's buying them. And looking back, I'm like kicking myself thinking about all the packs and moments I could have bought. But so I was like on that list very early, but it wasn't until way later that Oliver got me into Top Shot and I started collecting, but it had already blown up at that point. How did you first hear of Top Shot?
My good friend Gianni is super in the NFT and crypto space. He actually had his own NFT project like 3 years ago. And he was a CryptoKitties owner and user. And he got on the beta in, I think, July or August, and just told me, hey, this is right up your alley. And it was. I just kind of jumped in. Obviously didn't go as hard as I wish I did. But yeah, had a lot of conversations where people are like, oh, I would have just bought everything, or, why didn't you go harder? And it's funny to obviously look back, but in the moment, right now, everyone wants these moments because of the scarcity and the value. And back then it was like packs are sitting there. So you honestly kind of felt like, part of me was like, am I just throwing out money? Like buying packs when they're also sitting there, there's no scarcity. It's not even like now where there's a drop and it's like,
Yeah.
And I think that was their intention with the base packs always. And it just got so out of hand so fast, and the site kind of slowed down. So it became this insane scarce thing. But really, they wanted it to be like, just like in cards, you can always go buy packs. It doesn't devalue the top stuff, but it should be accessible to people all the time.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's pretty interesting because I remember getting on the platform. I got in late, so it was like late December, early January, I think. But still early in the relative terms, right? And I remember texting. I don't know if you know Jack Settleman or how well you know him, but I was texting Jack about a Giannis MVP moment, one of the the MVP set moments. It's like, man, is like $200 too much for this though? Like, is this going to be like And now you look back, all of them are $1,000 roughly, give or take, and you talk about the Donovan Mitchell hollows. But I remember when I first got on the packs, I sat there and I bought like 9 of them, and I was like, can I go? And I could just go back in and buy more. And I was like, well, I'm just gonna keep. So I think I spent a couple $100 or whatever on packs, and I was like, okay, this is enough. Like, I don't need more. And then now, obviously, hindsight 2020, like you were talking about, would have bought hundreds of them, and kept them over the years. But it's hard to determine that. I'm surprised. So I guess how much of this was, and you don't have to answer this, but how much of the money that you put into this LeBron Hollow was made off of Top Shot initially to do this, and then how much was potentially outside money? If you're okay with bringing that up, I'm just kind of curious how much your account kind of went up during that time.
It's honestly tough to say. I have invested 6 figures in Top Shot of like outside money.
Yeah,
I didn't start with. I would say though, like the initial for a few months, probably from August until January, I had put in maybe under $10,000. So I'd say that kind of thing.
Yeah,
and that initial few $1,000s is probably worth a few $100,000. Like just like Donovan Mitchell Hollow for $180, or some of the stuff I got in packs. I even sold some stuff that obviously, I sold LeBrons for like $300.
Oh, I'm sure.
Worth like $40K. But then, I went back in really hard at the first kind of rush in early January, and right around kind of the Bales article, and in a group chat with a few people on Bales, and like kind of saw those deals coming together. Actually, we had another deal for a LeBron Cosmic for $35K lined up, and it fell through because of $500. And then we didn't buy it. It was literally like it was supposed to be for 34. The guy put it up for 35 on the marketplace, and we were like going back and forth. And then someone bought it, and it was like, all right, forget it. And then the next one was like 40 or something. And then like literally a month later, I'm spending 208. But so that's
better late than never, though, because that moment is clearly going to continue to go up.
Yeah, I actually felt like it was better value at 208 than it was at 35 relative to everything else and what had happened and the amount of people that came into the market, which is an interesting way to look at it. But it's cool to just see the different stages of it. And like in January, that first kind of run up was insane relative. And then it kind of halved, like a lot of stuff just halved in prices. And it was like, okay, well, was that it? And then it just went that crazy run in February. And so I don't know what's next, but it's been interesting.
Yeah. Well, that's what I wanted to ask you about, because you've seen it through so many different iterations now, and jumps and then drops or plateaus, and I know some people right now are like panicking because they got in around January, February, and they were just expecting this thing to keep shooting up, and then now things are kind of like plateauing a bit. What are your thoughts on kind of what the market has been doing since February, and your thoughts on kind of where things could go in the future based on just your belief in Top Shot and what you kind of know behind the scenes?
Yeah, I think it's definitely obviously rough for a lot of those people who came in right near the top and spent big money on stuff. It's a good lesson too. And I think anyone that says they know, is kind of full of it, because even like I've seen it through the beginning. I was still buying stuff kind of near the peak. And it's, I bought a bunch of stuff that's gone down 90%. And it's like, no one really knows. And it's kind of like you get caught up in the, I don't want to say hype, but it's like as things are going up, you don't want to be left on the sideline. You want to just participate. So, I think long term, I still see a lot of a lot of upside and a lot of use for the product. And I think, what are they at, like 250 or 500,000 users right now?
Yeah, I mean, give or take. I mean, there's some different numbers that are being thrown out based on how many actual collectors there are versus how many people are, but I would say you probably have a solid 100,000 users that are collecting, quote unquote, have 15 plus moments, are in challenges in some way, shape, or form. And then you have probably, it sounds to me like 400,000 or 500,000 people that are on the site in some way, shape, or form and active in some way. So,
yeah. So the way I look at it is every time there's been kind of a run up and a hype cycle, it's just an influx of new users. And it's not like they've opened it up and done all the marketing they can, and this is the max. I really see a world where we have 1 million, 2 million, 5 million users on Top Shot, just because it's such a mainstream product. And I think it's also one of those things where it's like the Uber effect, where like people always measured how big can Uber be, and it was like, well, how big is the market of taxis? And it's like Uber's way bigger than taxis ever were. And I think, like me as an example, like I've been kind of thinking about dabbling in sports cards for years and never got into it just because of the friction of like, how do I figure out what to buy? And then Top Shot was just so natural and easy. It was like, you just make an account and you look around, and it's so much easier. And like to do a transaction, so much easier. You could spend $20 and not have to think about, how do I get this shipped and graded and all that stuff. So yeah, I think I think it already was bigger than sports cards for a period. I don't know about right now, like in terms of like annual sales. But so yeah, I just see like this is still being a tiny fraction of the size it could be. And then I don't think, I think like we said, like the base moments, there will always be really cheap stuff. I think that's by design. And I think when we 10x users, that just makes the top stuff go way up in price and continue to go up. And we'll see about the middle stuff and the cheaper stuff.
I had to put you on full screen to show off that amazing backdrop you have there. I mean, that's a great backdrop. Let's show it people again. That's pretty great.
Yeah. Here's some LeBron. They actually come, one shoe's purple, one's yellow, Lakers colors.
That's awesome.
Yeah, on here.
I was just admiring those, so I had to bring you full screen. Oliver, go ahead. Sorry.
No, it's fine. It's interesting you talk about the middle and the lower tier of stuff, because right now I think that's where, some people got in February when it was really hot and they didn't want to miss out, right? So they bought a bunch of moments and they bought a bunch of stuff, and now, like you were saying, it's gone down quite a bit. And what do you think about, there's some conversations being had about, is S1 more valuable than S2? Are first moments a big deal? What like 2 to 3 tips would you give to people when you're looking for something on Top Shot and trying to find like the right moment or the right price on something? What do you kind of use as a gauge? Do you use websites like Live Token or, the Evaluate Market, or are you more just concerned with like what specific moment it is and kind of like the rarity of it?
Yeah, I think all those tools are really cool, by the way. That kind of the blockchain allowing people to build tools like that is what makes a product like Top Shot really cool. I think, it's a complicated question, because it's not only about what you think. It's like kind of that same thing where people are saying, well, like Jokic is undervalued. And it's like, well, is he undervalued then? Because it's like, it's only comes down to like what people are willing to pay. So you could think something's undervalued all day. One example, like I really like first moments. I really like stuff that has a story. So to me, series 1 is huge relative. Like I think that's long-term. It's the first series. It's literally the first stuff. Like to me, the Cosmic series is like, if this is a 5, 10, 20-year product, Top Shot as a whole, the Cosmic series, the first base moments, like that's going to be what's coveted. The same way like rookie cards are coveted, or kind of any collectible. It's the original thing. Yeah. So yeah, I can't see a world. I still think Series 1 is undervalued relative to Series 2. And I think long-term that holds the value the most. And the edition sizes are so much smaller, and they'll always be. But for example, I really like the Kevin Durant Series 2 base. And I was buying
7,500, right?
What's that? Yeah, 7,500. Just because to me, I was like, that's his first moment in a Brooklyn Nets uniform. I don't count the run it back as the first moment. But then like, I guess I'm wrong because that got the badge and that's the one that seems to be holding value. And I was buying the 7,500 base at like 1,200, 1,300, and it's down to like 300.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And I bought a lot of them at that price and a lot at 100 and kind of all the way up. And it's that moment was 1,800 or 1,900 at the peak in February.
Yep.
And they were moving at that price. And so it's interesting. It's like 1/6 of the price now. But yeah, to me, I mean, I still think, I guess, it's interesting because everyone else has to think that too. But to me, that's his first moment as a net. It's his first moment on Top Shot. Like that was created when Top Shot existed, So
yeah,
I think run it back is cool, but I would not count it as a first moment. And I don't see why they did that. But
now, Oliver, real quick, I have to ask you this because I know you're a big Chicago Bears fan and your Bears just took Justin Fields. How you feeling right now?
I'm ecstatic right now. Ecstatic.
Oh, that's live. I like that.
Yeah, I just got the notification. So, they traded up. I had to ask you because I know you're a big Bears fan.
Big Bears fan. Super excited. We needed a quarterback. We got one.
You mean you weren't feeling Andy Dalton as the quarterback of the future, Oliver?
Yeah, definitely was not. Definitely was not.
Well,
Are you
that's
guys
awesome.
in Chicago?
I'm not in Chicago at all. No.
He's not. But
I'm just a big Bears fan. Been
Okay.
a lifelong Bears fan. Story behind that is, elementary school friend of mine was from Chicago. His dad was from Chicago. Big Bears fans, big Cubs fans, the whole thing. I used to go over to his house all the time, and I didn't have a football team at all. I was like 5 or 6 years old. I used to go over there all the time, and his dad passed away when we were in like second grade. And so like ever since then, I just was like, that's my go-to team. Like didn't have a football team, so that's what I stuck with. And anyways, sorry to getting sidetracked. I'm in Portland, Oregon, so that's where
I'm Tampa, Florida.
Nice.
So I got my Tom Brady goat shirt right here. There's the Bucks logo. But yeah, I had to ask you, Oliver. I saw the Justin Fields pick, and I know you've been waiting to see what they do all night. So yeah, you guys ready to open up? I can't talk right now. You ready to open up some packs?
Oh yeah,
let's do that. And then we still have the giveaway pack as well. You can enter that at basketballnews.com/topshot. So the three of us are going to enter or open up pack, and then we will give away one pack at the end to a winner that enters at basketballnews.com/topshot. So Oliver, you want to go first and open up your pack, or? All right, let's do that. So, and then Jesse, do you have the ability to share your screen here? Do you see that?
Yes, I will try and figure that out.
Okay, awesome. So we'll start with Oliver, and then we'll have you share your screen next. And then I'll go last. And then, basketballnews.com/topshot. And then if you don't win this one, we will continue to give away packs in future weeks. Starting tonight, we're going to have a new giveaway. So you can go ahead and enter that. Even if you don't win this one, definitely still go to basketballnews.com/topshot because next week, new giveaway starts. You ready, Oliver?
I got it.
All right, let's do it.
Good. Just a little pre-order base pack, so it's going to feel a little bit small for our guy Yodo over here. But you never know. We could pull a LaMelo or something fun out of this. So
we've had the funny thing is we've done these giveaways and we've had 4 people win LeBron so far. It's pretty wild. Like. Wow. One of them was from one of these packs. So left and right, people have been winning LeBron. So it's been pretty crazy. Let's see what you got, Oliver.
Gotta turn this volume off. Holy cow. All right. Let's see what we get here. Raptors layup. Pascal Siakam to 35,000. Okay. That's a nice move. Is there
what's the serial number?
12,306. Is there an S2 moment, Jesse, that you've been looking at or eyeing, other than the Durant, that maybe has come out a little more recently, or just an S2 moment that you've kind of been looking at and saying like, this seems like something I should get into?
I think the rookies for S2, because again, that comes back to it's their first moment.
Bingo.
So I really like the play of like not the rookies everyone's talking about, but just kind of like guys that are just under the radar, but like you grab a moment, you grab that rookie moment now, and then in 3 years that they turn into a star and you have like their rookie moment. And I think that's kind of the angle that I would take, like not the obvious thing. Well, so I should say either the really obvious, LeBron, Curry, and it's almost so obvious that people don't want to do it, like me buying Donovan Mitchell instead. It's like, but those are the long-term value plays. And then if you want to kind of take a bet with more riskier play on something, it's to me still rookies, first moments. I liked the Blake Griffin first moment when that came out, and seeing if he, kind of played a role and won a championship this year. And then, you have some of his first moment. But again, I think, look, I still like the rookies, and I like guys who are kind of not talked about, but their rookie moments are out there.
Definitely. So I got a DeLon Wright and a Cody Zeller to end the pack. So not a great pack today, but we move on. We move on. We'll keep it going. But yeah, no, I'm with you on the rookies too. I have a lot of Cole Anthony. That's kind of the guy that I've been kind of betting a lot on. So I've got like 3 or 4 of his first moments, and then also some of these moments to 35,000 are really good moments, and I think people are just like, maybe, Jesse, we just talked about overlooking. It's like, no, maybe nobody's overlooking it, and maybe that's just what the value is. But like the Cole Anthony game winner is a pretty sick moment to me. It's a little bit unfortunate that it's just 35,000. I wish it was rarer, because that would be like the marquee rookie moment for me, kind of like the Edwards dunk is. But that's a guy that I've been kind of picking up here lately.
So to go back a couple months, like I hadn't heard of Cole Anthony. This is like, let's say January.
Yeah.
And all I saw was Markelle Fultz went out with the injury. So I immediately just saw, oh, this guy Cole Anthony is his backup. I didn't even know he was a rookie. They didn't have the badges at that time. And I was buying up the 4,000. That's his first moment, the rookie moment. They were $4 or $5. I bought like 30 of them or something. They were for $5 each.
Oh, wow.
What a deal. I mean,
And
they were
then,
all
like,
going for so cheap. All those, like some of those rookies that you talk about, like, the Cole Anthony's, who else? Patrick Williams was really cheap.
Crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, gosh, some of those guys. Yeah. So I bought the Cole Anthony's late, like after the February. All those went to like almost 1,000, right? I think it was close to 1,000.
I sold a lot at around 100. I don't even know if I have any left.
Okay.
I think I was just like,
flipping.
So I sold a lot of 100, 150, which obviously is like a very good return, but
great return.
I think they're at 400 now, even as everything else is dipped. So
yeah, no, they're I think they're back down to around 100 at this point. But yeah, no, after
okay.
I think I own a few Cole Anthonys where someone bought for like $990 and then sold to me for like $160. So, yeah, definitely some interesting trends going on. But yeah.
Like, isn't it crazy to think they were literally $5 like a couple months ago?
Oh, I mean, I remember selling. I had a Tyrese Halliburton rookie moment to 4,000, and I think I sold it for somewhere between $70 and $80. Damn. And that was, obviously they're down right now. I think they're probably $300 or $400, but like, at the peak they were almost $2,000. So certainly, I think that's the interesting part about Top Shot too, is I'm always scared to sell stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just have this thing. It's like I bought this Luka step back 3 the other day just because it hit $990, the S1 step back over the Clippers.
Oh,
and I
nice.
was just like, there's no way this should be under 1,000.
No,
like,
that's an amazing moment.
It's a great moment. And so it hit like 990, and I was like, all right, I'm just gonna buy it. Like, screw it. And then I saw it going up to like 1,500-1,600 the other day, and I was like, do I just turn the profit on this and then buy another moment with it? Like, I could maybe get into an Edwards dunk now, double up there. But then I was like, you know what? No, I'm just going to roll with the Luka, keep it, and run with it. So,
well, I think
that's a really good moment.
Yeah. And I mean, like Jesse was saying, I think we're all of the belief here that Top Shot is only going to get bigger. The NBA is going to embrace it and promote it even more. And then we'll get to the point where millions of people are on this. So it's hard to, justify selling something right now when we all believe that, a year or 2 years from now, you're going to have a huge user base, and these moments that are so early on can be worth so much money. Like, I mean, it's very possible. I don't know if this will happen, but it's possible in a few years we're looking back and kicking ourselves for not going crazy and buying more moments right now. I mean, just like you were saying a while ago, the Cole Anthony's or your Donovan Mitchell story, like, it's very possible the moments just keep going up in price, and we're kicking ourselves for not taking advantage of, the market as it is right now. So that's why I think it's hard to sell right now whenever we all kind of have this long-term vision of Top Shot and what it could be. Would you guys agree with that?
Yeah, I definitely think. I mean, I was buying kind of this whole way down, and like I sort of stopped now making big purchases because like I bought a LeBron first moment and 2 Harden first moments like maybe a month ago, and those have come down about half. So I'm kind of like,
yeah,
all right, that's bad. But and I just have a big enough collection that I'm like, okay, that's a good amount for. So if it does go crazy again, obviously I have enough in there that it's kind of like I need to stop going back in. But yeah, I definitely think looking at it right now, it's been kind of like declining, hovering. I think it's right before the playoffs, and yeah, they just nothing's changed. It's kind of like these times when things are quiet and people start selling off and are doubting it, and it kind of plateaus. That is the time to buy historically in any market, right? It's sort of like when things are hot, you think that's the time to buy, but it's harder to catch that wave. And yeah, right now there's a lot of people kind of jumping off, doubting it, selling off. And it's like on their end, I mean, they just raised like $300 million and they haven't done any mainstream marketing. It's like, I don't see a world where there isn't another giant push. And that doesn't mean that there's another 10x in prices because people have to remember they do control the whole market with the supply, and like everything is going to go crazy again. A big part of why it went crazy is because of the site was broken and they couldn't drop packs as much as they wanted, and people have to remember that. But yeah, I still do think there's going to be a big influx of users at some point. So
I agree. All right, let's see what we got in this pack, and then Jesse, we'll get yours up next. If you want, you can start getting it ready, maybe trying to share. Selecting the share screen thing. All right, let's see what we got here. Let's go left to right. Layup Bucks Dante. It is 8,450 out of 35,000. Let's watch the play.
Not a bad little. Oh, that's a little slick move there.
Got the win over Atlanta.
I like the guys who are on good playoff teams because they have a chance to be like this year's Tyler Hero.
Yep.
Like I tweeted the other day, I have like a bunch of Series 1 Seth Curry metallic golds. Like I bought them all for $20.
I saw that.
And I was kind of like, I don't know. Obviously it went up and came down, and I'm like, I have too many of those, but I'm like, I see him having a playoffs where he's the guy, he shoots threes and like he's gonna hit some game winners and stuff and go crazy. And I'm like,
we were just talking about that. I was talking about that with Scott Hale, who works with me at basketballnews.com. We were saying like, okay, every year there's that guy that is a role player that steps up and like helps their team win a series. And yeah, if you can identify that guy or, pick a number of moments from guys that could be that guy, that, you're way ahead of it. So I like that pick. I mean, I could totally see Seth stepping into that role and just having a monster series or, a big postseason and really helping his value.
Style game
winner.
Bingo. I mean, that's like we've seen this with the sports card market. What happens is after the regular season is over, you have like these highly touted rookies that are typically out of the playoffs, and now you have to figure out like who is going to be the TJ Warren of the bubble last year. Like TJ Warren blew up in the bubble last year and his card prices went through the roof for like maybe 3 to 5 days. So I'm with you guys on that. And to that exact point, Alex, like I sold the Anthony Edwards dunk, the rare Anthony Edwards dunk. I was like, you know what? There is going to be a time where I can buy this at a lower price. I believe. So I got off of it and I went into the Luka Doncic, a Michael Porter Jr., an Anthony Davis, and something else. And I just basically meshed up all these S1, moments, either it's first moment or rookie moments. And because all those guys are on playoff teams, all those guys have a pretty good shot at going deep in the playoffs. And that was my thinking there. And I think you're onto something with the playoff moments and like finding those players that could stand out, have a big game, have a big week, have a big playoff series to the point where everybody's now, it's going to react very similar to what we saw in February, I think, with the playoffs. And maybe I'm being optimistic here, but there is still a shortage with specific players. You talked about Kevin Durant, Jesse. Like there's 3 Kevin Durant moments on the site right now, I think. Like
maybe a few more now.
Maybe a few more now. Maybe there's 4 or 5, but there's just not that many. So if there's a bunch of people wanting a Kevin Durant moment after he's hit a game winner to win Game 7 against the Bucks, like everybody's prices are like his prices are going to skyrocket, and people are going to pay whatever they have to get into a Kevin Durant moment.
Yeah.
What's your guys' stance on the run it back? Do you agree with me, or you think
I agree with you. It's really tricky for me to like price the run it back stuff at all. Like I don't know where like you talked about the Andrew Bogut moment. That's like, to me, it seems undervalued. I saw a Marc Gasol moment with the Grizzlies. There is no grit and grind Memphis Grizzlies moment other than the Marc Gasol one right now. So like for me, I look at that and I'm like, I think a couple days ago I saw one for like $450, and I was just like, this doesn't jive. The Kevin Durant's $20K, and I understand Marc Gasol and Kevin Durant are not in the same stratosphere of player, but like the historical context of like the Gasol moment in the grit and grind Grizzlies, like that whole thing is pretty cool. Same with the Bogut thing. Like he represents kind of like the changing of the throne, I guess you could say, in the NBA, because Bogut was like one of the last like pick and roll centers to kind of work in both modern day and anything behind like 2010-ish area, when centers and bigs were not really seen in the same light as they are today. So I think I think all the run it back stuff, to me, even the Giannis run it back moment, is kind of intriguing to me. Like I don't know what to think of it. Like I think it's cool because he's like not built out. He's not like, he's lanky. He's not like fully developed. You can tell he's just like not like all the way the player that we see today. So that's
he's not an alien yet.
Yeah, but it's like, it's cool to see that. But at the same time, like I may rather just have like a Giannis, like his first moment S1, rather than the run it back. And maybe that's a hot take, but like,
I find like the run it backs, like, I mean, they're cool because it introduces a whole, you can go back in time kind of, and I think they're cool, but I just personally don't value them because I think what makes things cool, whether it's a rookie card or a moment, is like the history. So it's like, if you have a LeBron rookie card, it's like that was literally printed before LeBron was LeBron, or
right.
like, and it's like the history of that someone, what makes it scarce is like someone kept it for 20 years perfectly, and it was created before this. Like, so the run it back just kind of creates this dynamic where they're like, oh yeah, here's a Giannis rookie moment, but it's not a true rookie moment because it was not made like when he was a rookie. It was just like, okay, we took this highlight. So yeah, I don't know. I have mixed feelings on it.
It's like what you see in trading cards. Like whenever a guy becomes a superstar, so they make like a first look card or like an old special card that, like you're saying, it's like it's not actually the rookie card, right? And it's like, okay, this
Michael
is actually
Jordan
worth nothing.
Maybe this is I don't know. Maybe I'm talking too bad about the product at that point. It's not a Fleer 1986 Michael Jordan reprint, but it is kind of in that same. At least for me, when I view it, I kind of see it the same way. I get some of the value that people hold on the run it back series. I understand it. But I definitely see where you guys are coming from.
My question too is like, right now they're so rare and special because we don't have any other older, former players. It's the only way you can get Duncan and Dirk and all that. But like, if eventually we get to the point where they do have a bunch of moments from past seasons, then that also, kind of hurts the value of those moments, because you're going to it's not the only time you can get a Marc Gasol, like you're saying. We might have a bunch of those kind of players from past seasons, because it sounds like they want to open it up and have, not just the current players, but also older players, older moments and stuff too. So that could also hurt the run it back series, in my opinion.
I think it's hard for people to see that angle now because there's only series 1 and series 2, but I'm trying to imagine in like 8 years. So there's like series 1, 2, 3, all the way to 8. And it's like, you look back at the series 1, or series 2 LaMelo Ball, and now LaMelo Ball's the best point guard in the league, and he's like a guaranteed Hall of Famer, and you're like, I have his like rookie moment, or I have like the LeBron Cosmic. This is like when Top Shot was first created in June 2020, and now it's 2028, and it's like, to me, that holds way more significance than like, just minting something and choosing a year. So
I agree. Real quick, so after Dante, we got Matisse Thybulle, 2,828 out of 35,000, so pretty low serial there. And then Devin Booker, 14,357 out of 35,000. And then let's go ahead and I'll do the giveaway pack now too. I'm already sharing my screen here. And then from there, we'll have Jesse go ahead and open up his pack.
Cool.
So our winner of the giveaway, and we're going to open up the pack for you and send it to you in 7 days, is 3-Ring Leader. Congratulations, 3-Ring Leader. We will send you these moments in 7 days as soon as we can gift them. So let's see what 3-Ring Leader got here.
Cool. So we open it after. I like that.
Yeah, so they can, everyone can kind of see what they got, and then we'll send them in 7 days. So let's see what you won. Again, we've had great luck so far with our giveaways. A lot of people winning LeBrons left and right, so we'll see if that happens here.
Little
CJ McCollum.
Yep.
31,818 out of 35,000. Let's watch the moment.
Very undervalued
really
first moment, I think, if we're going to go that direction here.
CJ's so good.
His first moment is it's quite appalling. I was pretty surprised at how low it was the other day. So,
and speaking of, before you open Matisse Thybulle, I was buying a bunch of his rookies at one point.
Good one.
Yeah, I like that. Let's see what else we got here. 3-pointer Miami Heat. Duncan Robinson, 14,830 out of 35,000. I noticed on his podcast, he actually just did a Top Shot giveaway. He's starting to get in a Top Shot and talking about it a little bit. So Duncan, I don't know if he has his own moment, but
another guy who could hit in the playoffs too.
Yeah, good point. Let's see what we got here. Last one. Oh, Dame Lillard. So if you're a Blazers fan, 3-Ring Leader, you're very happy here with Dame and CJ. Not bad. It is 21,234 out of 35,000. A nice buzzer beater there.
Speaking of Damian Lillard, he was in a challenge fairly recently, the All-Star Challenge. Jesse, do you partake in the challenges at all? Do you do those? What's your thought on challenges, and have you done them in the past?
So at the beginning, I was doing every single challenge. They were obviously like, it was a forcing function to just collect more too, which ended up being really good because I was buying all these random moments that then went crazy. So it was good for a long time. I think when it started getting really crazy, I remember the first one, the Steph Curry Metallic Gold Challenge. That was the first one where it was like at the peak, like $16,000. And I remember I had a few of them and I just sold into it. Like I sold an Evan Fournier for like $4,000. And I was like, I'll just do that instead. And people actually lost money on that challenge if you kind of bought all the pieces at the top and sold at the wrong time. And so that, at that point I was like, okay, people actually have to be careful here, which I think is a good dynamic. I don't think every challenge should just be, free money or packs. So I think that actually was good, and it makes you kind of strategize more. The ones I've been doing since then are just the Cool Cats ones. I've done every single Cool Cats one.
Interesting. Okay.
Because I think it's accessible. I've read a few things that are like there could be a prize for people who do every single challenge and don't just buy all the moments at the end to get the LaMelo, which I think is cool. I think it's like, so I had done the first couple, so I was like, I'll just keep doing them. So I've done every single one. Was trying to complete the newest one today. And I think that I'll just continue doing those. I think it's really tough to gauge. Some of the hollow and metallic gold ones are getting so expensive to put all those pieces together. Yeah, and it's like, is it worth it? A lot of people are just doing the challenges and then flipping the piece at the end. So it's like, kind of, I haven't done any of those in a while.
Yeah. Okay, you ready to share your screen? I didn't want to put it up there without asking you first. Is it you good to go?
One. No, I did notice the other day on the challenges there was a Ben Simmons one that only had 32.
Yeah,
or
the rarest one.
Which that's crazy cool because that could bring back challenges in a way like, oh wow, there's only 25 of this if it hits on like some player that's so that's cool.
Yeah, it does feel like there's a pendulum swing with the challenges. It seemed to kind of move back and forth. I tried to play the market on the All-Star Dame one, and then also the Anthony Edwards one, and the Zion one, to be honest. So all three of those ones were kind of in the same area or same area of time, I guess you could say, and they didn't seem too expensive. And I basically broke even. There wasn't too much of like a one way or the other, but if you bought at the peak, like you mentioned, you're definitely down a few $1,000s at minimum, and that's how challenges have operated the past few months.
Yeah, and it's
Jesse, are you based in LA? I see the Lakers thing.
Yeah, I'm Canadian, okay, cool. But I live in LA.
Okay, cool. Sorry to cut you off. Go ahead. My bad.
Yeah. Should we take a look here?
Let's see. Let's take a look at the pack.
Where are we?
While we open that up, what are your thoughts on this year's Lakers team?
Is it? I mean, I'm waiting for the return of LeBron.
For sure, yeah.
Is it?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure which one it is. I guess you take your pick.
Okay.
One of them should have been. Yeah, it's probably one of those.
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah. Get the music too. Let's go.
Yeah. Okay. Start it up. Oh, it's a high serial.
Jimmy B.
All right.
So I bought a Jimmy Butler. Speaking of like low prices, I bought a Jimmy Butler Eastern Conference Finals moment that was purchased by somebody in January for $24. So insane to see kind of the price hikes of these things as you look at some of the sales.
Great. Let's go. Oh, 1998. Was this guy by any chance born in 1998?
I was about to say that. He
Let
could
me look
be.
that up. Actually, that's very possible.
Because he looks like a 98.
Kevin Herter. Yep. He's got to be pretty close to that.
Let's see. 1998.
No way.
August 27th, 1998. There you go.
Hey, we'll take it. That's a good one.
Great call too, because I would not even thought that right away. Like that was quick. It would have hit me like a week later. Like, wait a second. So props to you for getting that so quick.
Well, a funny serial story when we bought the LeBron Cosmic, Adam Lefko, who was one of the guys who on it, texted us after and wrote and it's number 29, which is like 23 and 6. Like LeBron's two numbers. And I was like, I didn't even realize.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's always funny to me. I like hearing how people are like, oh, it's this plus this and this, like all the little things people do.
You can kind of make a story of anything,
You really can. I like it though. It's funny. It's creative.
Yeah. Let's go for the last one here.
Orlando Magic. MCW. He was on a Top Shot stream tonight.
I saw that.
I know cool. He's getting into Top Shot too. The whole Magic team apparently is big on Top Shot now. They're all fans.
Yeah.
Does that change? Just out of curiosity, Jesse, does that change your investment strategy when a player is involved in Top Shot or not? Have you purchased moments where that a player is purchasing his own stuff?
Yeah, I think not necessarily because that player will come and buy those moments. Here, should I shut this? No.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah.
But I think it's cool to a player's brand increases with what they do on court and off court. And I think guys like Iguodala or Damian Lee, who's been on a couple things, or Terrence Ross or Michael Carter Williams, it definitely increases their name around the game. And especially a lot of these guys, I feel like in the Top Shot community are more known within Top Shot than on the court. And it's interesting. I definitely would target more guys like that. Because you're kind of trying to think, what are other people thinking? And the first step of people buying moments is recognizing the name. And so whether that's a playoff performance or whether that's Josh Hart being really active in Top Shot, and people definitely value Josh Hart more on Top Shot because they know his name. So
for sure.
Yep.
Well, everyone, our new giveaway is open now. I just got word of that. So basketballnews.com/topshot, and you'll be entered in for our giveaway next week, or you could win the pack potentially. So definitely enter that. And Jesse, thank you so much for doing this, man. We appreciate it. You were fantastic. I loved your insight. So thanks so much for your time.
It was fun. Glad we got to talk some Top Shot.
Absolutely. Hey, before you leave, anything that you want to plug or throw out there?
I don't know. Not really. I'm wearing my new clothing line, Front Page.
Oh, nice.
So I was already plugging that.
That's very cool. And you have a website for your LeBron moment, correct?
LeBron.com.
LeBron.com.
Check it out.
Okay. How did you get that? How did you get that website? How did you get that? Because you had to purchase it from someone, right?
I don't know. It's a mystery.
Some things, yeah. I love it. Well, hey, make sure you guys go follow him on Twitter too @Yodo, and we appreciate you hanging out, man. This was fantastic. Thanks so much for your time.
Instagram @Yodo. Thanks for having me, guys.
And so as I mentioned, basketballnews.com/topshot. You can win our pack giveaway next week. And until next time, thanks for hanging out. See you guys.